Dear members of the State Commission, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of today's meeting of the State Commission on flight tests of manned piloted complexes is to make a decision on approving the composition of the prime and the backup crews of the Soyuz MS-10 space vehicle. On Space Corporation Energia's proposal, which was approved of by the Council of Governors, given the technical state of the ISS, during the preparation and the training of the crew and the space vehicle of the Soyuz, the decision was made to launch on October 11th, 2018, the Soyuz MS-10 space vehicle with the ISS crew to the International Space Station. Yesterday, following the schedule, on completing the schedule, the tests of the rocket were performed on the launch pad. All the activities were performed in full scope and with high-quality ingredient. I'm asking Pavel Vlasov, who is heading the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center, to report on the readiness of the crew and on the suggestions on the composition of the prime and the backup crews of the Soyuz MS-10 spaceship. Dear Dmitry Olegovich, dear members of the State Commission, ladies and gentlemen, the work on the flight for expeditions 57, 58 on the Soyuz MS-10 saw the crew being trained in the following composition: prime crew Alexei Ovchinin, Roscosmos cosmonaut, commander of the Soyuz vehicle, the commander of ISS-58, and flight engineer of ISS-57, Nick Hague, NASA astronaut, FE-1 of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS-57-58, backup crew Oleg Kononenko, Roscosmos cosmonaut, commander of the Soyuz MS-10, flight engineer of the ISS, David Saint-Jacques, the astronaut of the Canadian Space Agency, flight engineer of the ISS, and flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle. The crew training is complete. Everyone has passed the tests and the exams, fulfilled the program in full scope, and went through all the training. The Medical Commission found the crew members ready to perform the spaceflight. The Interagency Commission, based on the readiness of the crew members, according to the meeting, looked at the results of the work of the program and prepared the following finding. The crews of expeditions 57-58 are ready to perform the space flight on the Soyuz MS-10 space vehicle and the Russian segment. The program of the pre-flight preparation and training is fully done. Based on the above, the State Commission is suggested to approve of the prime vehicle crew as Alexei Ovchinin, commander, and Nick Hague, flight engineer. Backup crew, Soyuz commander Oleg Kononenko, flight engineer David Saint-Jacques. I'm now asking Sergei Romanov, Director General of the Space Rocket Corporation Energia and the Director of the Piloted Complexes, to report on the readiness of the flight complex for subsequent work of the crew. Good afternoon. Yesterday, the launch pad saw all the activities which were done according to the schedule of flight day 1. No comments, no objections, no remarks. The rocket Soyuz FG and the Soyuz MS-10 are ready for the subsequent activities according to the schedule of flight day 2 and the launch. I'm now asking to talk to us about the decision The decision made by the State Commission on piloted complexes and the crews, having heard out the reports and the statements, the proposal on approving of the prime crew Soyuz MS-10 and the readiness of the space and rocket complex, the State Commission made the following decision. 1. To approve of the crew MS-10, prime crew, Commander Alexei Ovchinin, Roscosmos, flight engineer Nick Hague, NASA, backup crew, Commander Oleg Kononenko, Roscosmos, flight engineer David Saint-Jacques. 2. To continue the preparation of the space and rocket complex with fueling and readiness for launch. If we have no other comments or remarks, then this decision by the State Commission is approved and signed off. Next, I am passing the floor to the Executive Director of the Piloted Programs, to Sergei Krikalev. Dear colleagues, I congratulate you on finishing your next stage. You've had a few stages like this, and now the most responsible stage is awaiting you. So I'd like to wish you good luck. You have done everything you had to do during the previous stages. Now you need just a little bit of luck to fulfill the next stage. And thank you to everybody who is here contributing to the execution of these stages, to representatives of the industries, to the medical staff, and to the coaches and trainers and instructors. Now I'm passing the floor to the manager of the ISS program, Kirk Sharman from NASA. And I would like to ask you whether Jim Brandenstein, whether he is ready to say something as well.
All right, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, and members of the Commission, I'd like to start off by congratulating Oleg and David on successfully completing your backup flow. David, I know this is getting to be a very normal activity for you, so look forward to you being the prime crew next time. Your time will come very soon. For Alexei and Nick, congratulations as well on completing your flow. Very difficult, but significant achievement, so congratulations on that. While you're on orbit, you'll very quickly see up to 7 vehicles come and dock or berth to the International Space Station. 6 vehicles will depart the International Space Station while you're there. 3 EVAs on the U.S. side, 1 EVA on the Russian side, so a lot of spacewalks. There'll be over 187 investigations that you'll be a part of, 54 of them which are brand new and have never been performed before. You'll be part of experiments that look at subatomic particles, both matter and antimatter, smaller than have ever been seen, more energetic than have ever been seen by humans. You'll be part of an experiment that cools atoms down to 1/10,000,000th of a degree above absolute zero, and it sustains that way for over 10 seconds. So another thing that's never been achieved before by humankind. You'll be part of experiments in biology looking at microbes and actually determining which microbes are existing there by looking at their DNA and comparing it with a database, and that's never been done in space. So all these activities you'll be part of, unlocking the secrets of this planet and this universe that we live in. You'll be working with technologies that'll help us send humans further into space than we've ever gone before. In particular, there's a life support rack that just arrived on space station, and of course the Russian delegation has a water system that's just now operating on board International Space Station. So all that's really key to furthering human exploration in space. And in addition, you'll be fostering this low Earth orbit commercial economy. You'll be working with companies that are deploying CubeSats, that own facilities on board the International Space Station. And in fact, you'll be on orbit when the first commercial human transportation system for the U.S. will fly to the International Space Station. All this work is important to us in this room. I would say it's important to our various agencies, but it's really important to the entire planet. These kinds of experiments that you're doing have been part of over 103 countries around the globe, so it really is important for all of us here on the planet. So lots of important work to do. I hope you have a good time up there also. You'll have the best vantage point on this planet than anyone ever sees, so please enjoy that. We wish you a very productive increment and a soft landing back here in Kazakhstan.
Thank you very much. And I would like to pass the floor to the NASA administrator, to Jim Bridenstine, and to greet the delegation. I'd also like to say that Jim Bridenstine has been here on the Kazakh soil for just a few hours, but this is very important for the prime crew and for the backup crew to hear what he has to say.
On behalf of NASA.
I would like to start by saying thank you to General Director Rogozin for your hospitality and the great plane ride down from Moscow. We had a great opportunity to talk about the history of our two nations and how important that history is going forward. From the Apollo-Soyuz missions, or as I have learned now, the Soyuz-Apollo missions, to the Shuttle Mir, or maybe it's the Mir shuttle missions, and now the International Space Station. Alexei and Nick, you are part of now a very proud tradition of our two great nations partnering in space exploration. We wish you all the best. We look forward to a bright future working together, our two nations, and God bless you both as you go to the International Space Station. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Here in Baikonur at the Cosmonaut Hotel, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine, Roscosmos General Director Dmitry Rogozin. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. The State Commission just completed its final approval of the crew for launch. This is your first trip here, Jim. Your thoughts about the whole process in what historians call the cradle of human spaceflight here, and your thoughts and Mr. Rogozin's thoughts on the global reach of human spaceflight.
Yeah, what an amazing opportunity to be a part of history. You think back to all the things that have launched from Baikonur. You go back to Sputnik, Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, which launched the space age for human space flight. You think of the Apollo-Soyuz program, when our two nations first joined in space with their cosmonauts and our astronauts in a spirit of cooperation in 1975. You go forward to the Shuttle Mir program, and then on to the International Space Station, and to watch our two astronaut and their cosmonaut today again launch on a Russian Soyuz rocket, which will be happening tomorrow. It is a bit daunting. It's a bit inspiring, and it's a charge that we have to keep. And I look forward to seeing their successful launch tomorrow.
I would like to say that for Russia, for the United States, it's a very important time, because the level of cooperation that the ISS has seen and during the previous projects has been tried by time. But right now, Russia, the United States, the European Union are looking further in the depths of space. So it's very important for us, for the managers of NASA and Roscosmos, to weigh the possibilities, the capabilities that our countries have, that our industries have, to weigh the ambitions that we have, to try to add them up, so that humankind, Earthlings, no matter the nationality, could realize the long-term dream, the exploration of space, and the understanding of where we are and why we are the only ones.
We are just weeks away from the 20th anniversary of the launching of the first elements of the International Space Station, the Zarya module, on November 20th, 1998. a very historic milestone in human spaceflight. 20 years later, could you have imagined that the space station would be the facility, the laboratory it is today? And how critical is it in terms of being a linchpin for future exploration?
The International Space Station, of course, is a technological marvel, and of course the science that's being done there is second to none. And in fact, what's even more marvelous about it than even the science and the technology is the fact that we've had at this point 103 nations do science on the International Space Station, do discovery on the International Space Station. So it is a marvel of not just technology, but also of cooperation. To see all of our nations involved in the International Space Station working so hard in a collaborative way under a treaty arrangement, if you can imagine. So you think about the fact that we build a piece of the International Space Station, they build a piece of the International Space Station, and the first time we put them together is on orbit with humans doing EVAs, extravehicular activities. That and the idea that it actually works, that it fits, and all the components are compatible. And so it really is an amazing opportunity to help us learn more about spaceflight than we've ever been able to learn before, human physiology, but also all of the scientific discoveries. And of course, the next step is to figure out how do we commercialize it for low Earth orbit and then go further than we've ever gone before. And that's what the International Space Station has done. It has demonstrated that together we can all accomplish more than we ever could accomplish on our own. And now we have more space agencies on the surface of the planet than ever before, so that we can do more than we've ever been able to do before. So we're really looking forward to the future.
The ladder to space cannot have broken steps on the bottom. That is, if we're going to deep space, should not mean that we are to make our Earth lose the near-orbit space station. So the International Space Station, in some form, is going to continue its existence. Second, in order to move farther and higher from Earth, will require much more independence of the functionality of the system. So the ISS, which I'm sure the Russians and the Americans have already paid attention to, need to work with experiments that allow to make as much independent from the Earth as possible. Hereby, I mean water resources, radiation protection, etc. So the ISS is very important as the foundation.
Добрый вечер. Сейчас почти 18 часов 30 минут местного времени, и меньше суток осталось до того момента, как ракета-носитель «Союз» ФГ выведет на орбиту корабль «Союз» МС-10. Старт с космодрома Байконур запланирован на 11 октября 2018 года в 14 часов 44 минуты по местному времени. Недавно завершилось заседание Государственной комиссии, на которой...
The State Commission's session has recently finished, and the prime and the backup crews of the ISS expeditions 57-58 were named. Prime crew Alexei Ovchinin, commander of the Soyuz MS-10 vehicle, flight engineer ISS-57, commander ISS-58. Nick Hague, flight engineer 1, ISS 57-58, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle. Backup crew, Oleg Konenko, commander of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS, Roscosmos Russia, David Senjak, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS, Canadian Space Agency. We're going to start our press conference, questions and answers, after such a warm greeting. Please go ahead. Good afternoon, this is Anna from Roscosmos. I'd like to congratulate the crew on their approval and nomination. I have two questions for Alexei, the commander. Question one, this is your second flight, and you're going to be commander again. But back then, it was your first flight. Do you feel more confident that you know more, that you are not worried? And question two, it's the 20th anniversary of the International Space Station. What does this date mean to you, and what does it mean to the cosmonautics and space flight history? I cannot really say that I'm less worried than I was worried back then during my first flight. Each flight is unique. The very first flight, you don't know a lot. You're only imagining, thinking. Second time, you probably know what you're going to experience, but the programs are different, so I do worry a little bit. However, Nick and I have been training for a year and a half for our flights, so we are done with our training. We went through the entire training program. We are a good crew, coordinated crew, so I'm positive everything will go just right. Second question, it was about the 20th anniversary of the ISS. Oh yes, this is a very important date for the International Space Station. It feels extremely nice that we are going to be on board the ISS during the celebration of the anniversary, and we'd like this station to continue its flight for as long as possible. We're going to maintain its operation to help it exist as much as possible.
Спасибо. Следующий вопрос.
Thank you. Next question. Rob?
Rob Navius from NASA Television. I have two questions for Nick and one for the backup crew. Nick, you're launching into what arguably is going to be one of the busiest periods in station history in terms of the workload. You're inheriting two spacewalks just 8 days after you reach orbit from the previous expedition. Your thoughts on that workload, how you intend to manage it, and thoughts about the spacewalks themselves to upgrade the station's power system.
So Rob, to address your question, the first one, being busy up there, I've been waiting a long time, so I just want to get up there and get to work. And you know, the more work I can do, the more I can contribute, the happier I'll be. So I'm glad to see that there's all the activity that's going on up there. I think it's a testament to what the program has been able to do. We were talking about the 20th anniversary. We just keep getting better at doing the job up there. We keep getting more efficient, and we can get more out of the crew and out of the equipment on board. So we're just another step in that direction as we continue to push forward and expand our capabilities. In terms of the EVAs, you know, I'm excited to go out the door. Looking forward to it. The team, you said that we inherited the EVAs, but it's a testament to the team that prepares us. They had me practice those on the off chance that I might actually do the EVAs, and so that preparation is paying dividends now. So that's a big kudos to the team for making sure I'm ready.
And dialing back to the 20th anniversary of the birth of the ISS coming up in a few weeks, what do you think in your mind is the living legacy of this facility?
So I do feel privileged to be up there during the 20th anniversary. Having some time down here in quarantine, a unique opportunity to walk through the alley of cosmonauts and see all the trees that have been planted by those that have gone before me. I came to the realization that, you know, it's not just the International Space Station where we have established this strong rapport of cooperation, international cooperation, that makes the complicated and seemingly impossible possible. It's been going on since before I've been alive. You know, my whole life. We established the Soyuz Apollo program in 1975. We flew that mission. I was born that same year. So this is just another program in that long history. I hope that it serves as an example of what we should be continuing to do if we want to continue to make the impossible a reality.
And for Oleg and David, it's hard to believe you guys are launching in 10 weeks. Your thoughts on the step up of activity in this regard, and how ready you think you are at this point?
I believe we're ready.
занимаемся уже достаточно давно.
We have been training for a long time now.
Экипаж грамотный,
The crew is knowledgeable.
хороший.
The crew is
Я
smart.
думаю, мы
The crew is good.
не испортим
So
ни впечатления, ни
I don't think I'm
работы
going to spoil the image
с ником и
or to do something bad with our operations.
It is a rare opportunity to be here in Baikonur in quarantine with fellow crew members that that you're expecting to be on board with later. It was also a chance for us to actually see our spacecraft in preparation, which is a rare event.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Георгий, Подгорный, Россия 24.
Good afternoon, this is Georgi from Russia 24. Question to the commander, to Alexei. There are only two of you, but the third seat in the Soyuz is empty. Why is that? Yes, indeed, there are only two of us, Nick and I, and the third spot in the Soyuz vehicle, the right seat, will have a cargo container, which is already ready. We are going to bring something to the ISS. As for the way back, there are going to be three of us. We'll be joined by a spaceflight participant from the United Arab Emirates.
Следующий вопрос.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Здравствуйте. Андрей Захаров из
Good afternoon, this is Andrei from Izvestia TV, Channel 5 and Channel 78, and I have 5 questions.
Алексей.
So let's take them one by one. Alexei, the question on the call sign, could you elaborate? The call sign is there. Everything is good. It's the same one that I chose during my first flight. It's Burlak. It's a symbol for the city of Rybinsk, where I'm from. That's I'm going to use in the future.
Спасибо. Ник, мы слышали, что вы не тренировали вот этот вот выход как раз в открытый
We heard that you were not trained on the extravehicular activity, you just didn't have an opportunity. Are you worried?
So I look forward to being able to perform the EVA. Actually, the training team recognized a possibility for me to end up doing the EVA, so I did receive some training both in our neutral buoyancy lab as well as going through the procedures. So I'm familiar with what we're going to do and look forward to doing the spacewalk.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donald Korder. I'm from Russia Today International, and I just had a question for Alexei Ovchinin and Oleg Konyenko. What kind of successes do you expect from use of the first ever Russian-produced 3D bioprinter in zero gravity on the International Space Station?
This experiment will take place for the first time on board of the International Space Station. We're going to have 2 parts of this experiment. Right after the docking to the ISS, we are going to try out the equipment, the printer itself, and 2 parts of the experiment. Part 1, we're going to move from the simple to the more complicated portions. Then the results will be brought back to Earth, and the investigators will look at the material, study it, and then they'll probably correct something, add something else, and we'll move on, or we'll move to more complicated portions. Same question? Yes, please. Well, the idea is that gravity is a minimum in orbit. So we'll see how the biological cell will be formed. And as Alexei said, he's going to conduct the experiment. The results will be brought back to Earth. And if the results of the analysis is done rather quickly, then we have a possibility to bring new material, and I'll be busy with part 2. if it takes longer than before other crews. Thanks a lot. Dear colleagues, I'd like to bring your attention to the fact that it's a rather unique situation. Normally, the backup crew follows the prime crew after one more mission. But this time, Oleg Kononenko's crew is launching in December, so all of them are going to be together on board the ISS. Besides, Alexei and Oleg will be commanders of the ISS, also one after the other, and that's quite unique. So I have a question for Alexei. Does there exist any specific training to be the ISS commander? You haven't been the ISS commander. Can you say something about this? Absolutely. It's a great responsibility to be the commander of the ISS, much more than that of being the Soyuz commander. When you're the Soyuz commander, you have only 2 or 1 person under you. When you are the SS commander, you have 5 people. That means much more responsibility. That's a significant weight, especially when training. I had some additional classes when I was being trained as commander. For instance, when I was in Houston, I participated in training sessions on working with the SS RMS arm, when performing EVAs, when docking transport vehicles. This is all in addition to my regular flow, and this is done so that as the SS commander, I have an idea and understanding of what is going on. Maybe that's why you have an owl on your patch. Could you say a few words about what? About the owl, about the patch, and about some signs that you may be having there? Yes, the emblem of the expedition is triangle, 3 angles, 3 member crew. Originally, there were 3 of us when we started training. Later on, our crew is modified, so there are only 2 crew members right now on my crew. At the bottom, you can see the Earth, our planet that we live on. The shape of the Soyuz vehicle, the vehicle that launches us to the ISS. Then you can see the outline of the International Space Station in the upper right corner. The emblem has the flags of Russia and of the United States. These are the flags of the crew members. Next, you see the number of the space vehicle. This is Soyuz MS-10, names of the crew members. And in the middle, it's probably not very evident, but you can see an owl there. And the owl was my weightlessness indicator during my first flight, so I wanted to kind of draw the line between flight 1 and flight 2 of mine. So the owl is sitting right there in this patch as well. Besides, the owl symbolizes wisdom. We'll try to be wise, intelligent, make the right decisions during our flight. And the owl is also able to rotate its head 360 degrees. We must be just like those owls. And I'd like to finish a question for the backup crew, question for Oleg and for David. You both speak multiple languages. What language do you speak when you talk to each other? And I understand that David speaks Russian as well. Well, we speak multiple languages because we have to. We follow the rules on the ISS. The official language on the Soyuz vehicle is Russian. When we work on the ISS, the official language is English. So we talk in English when we talk to some mission controls, and we speak Russian when we talk to others. Accordingly, David is in the left seat. This is a flight engineer's seat. He is supposed to analyze how all of the systems on the spaceship are operating, to report the decisions and the conditions to the commander. So he needs to be able to do that in Russian. What about when you talk to each other? It depends on the topic of the conversation and on the place where this conversation is taking place. What about the places?
Здесь мы говорим на русском, конечно, но как
Of course, here we are speaking Russian,
приедет в Хьюстоне, мы говорим на английском.
and when we are in Houston, we are speaking English. Thanks.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Оксана Махрова.
Good afternoon, this is Oksana. My planet, Moscow. Question to everybody.
Есть ли у вас какие-то приметы, традиции?
Do you have any superstitions, any signs, any traditions, so that your flight goes as planned?
Если это не секрет, извините, конечно.
Of course, unless this is a big secret. We're not going to tell you about all of the superstitions that we have. Of course, there are traditions and superstitions. Human spaceflight cannot do without. I'll tell you about a few of them. So we're here at Baikonur. We're doing our pre-flight training. And the crew members, no matter Russian crew members, Canadian crew members, American crew members of any space agency, the crew member who launches for the first time from Baikonur is supposed to plant a tree. They plant a tree here on launch pad 17. There is an entire alley of trees. Everyone who launches the first time plants a tree. This is an ancient tradition. It actually started back with Yuri Gagarin. An alley starts with a tree that was planted back then by Yuri Gagarin. Next, one of the traditions that we follow, and that has been present for a long time as well, is watching the film entitled The White Sun of the Desert. We are having the press conference today, and next what follows will be the film, The White Sun of the Desert. I don't know whether this is true or not. However, I did hear that there was a time when the crew didn't want to watch this film. They said that they knew this film by heart. And actually, they did encounter some off-normal situations during the flight. So the flight did not go okay. So the crew since then follow this tradition. Do you have any personal traditions, maybe something that you or your colleagues have? I don't know, don't cut your hair, don't do a new haircut, I don't know, something practical. Well, cutting one's hair is a personal thing. It depends on your preferences. If you want to cut, if you don't, you don't. But we'll do sit for a moment before we move on.
Будем перевод делать, да? Наверное, не будем. Так, давайте еще один вопрос.
One more question, please. This is Dennis from the Renovista Space Agency, news agency. Alexei, October 4th saw the beginning of a new event, Space Post, Space Mail. Are you ready to accept mail and to report, to respond to them? Yes, of course. I heard about this new event. Of course, we are going to get mail, to put stamps on the envelopes and to send it back.
И как бы в заключение, ввести какие-то блоги?
In conclusion, what about blogs, blogging, share your photos, video rolls, whatnot? Yes, of course, we have lots of plans. We would love to do as much as we can to tell people about space and to promote pictures and video. It just depends on time. We don't always have time for that. But we'll do our best. So if we can, we'll send interesting pictures to you. And we're inviting all of the people to follow your pages in the social media on the internet, and it is already 19:00. The cruise schedule is a very important question. This is another tradition. Oh, yes. So this was our final question. Let's thank everybody, yourselves and the crew, for the press conference. Two crews together are ready to see each other on board the ISS.
Спасибо. Теперь только основной экипаж.
Thank you. And now just prime crew, please.
Алексей, немножечко неформально, да.
Alexei, something less official, please.
Спасибо большое и удачи вам.
Thank you very much and good luck to you. All the best.